On this episode of the Greenway Outdoors, I've come to Yankton, South Dakota. More specifically, the Missouri River. The Missouri River has been overrun with non-native invasive fish, commonly known as Asian carp. I'm here to show you how this fish is destroying this precious ecosystem.
This is the pallet sturgeon. The only place you're gonna find these guys on the planet Earth is in the Missouri or Mississippi watersheds. And the problem with that is the Asian carp have already infiltrated those areas, and they're out competing this fish and all the other native fish for food.
Now for the good news. Bow fishing and making Asian carp stir fry are a fun and tasty antidote to the problem.
This fish really just needs a better PR campaign behind it. It has to get people interested in it and give a fresh look to think about eating it.
The Missouri River has been the lifeblood of the people of this area for centuries. So on this journey, I'll speak with local experts and learn about the history of the river that we're fighting so hard to protect.
Oh! Did you get him? I did.
All right.
I'm Kyle Green. I travel the globe with my best friends hunting for wild game and dynamic conservation stories. Join us on our adventure as we escape the shackles of the modern world and gain a deeper understanding of where our food comes from. Welcome to the Greenway Outdoors.
Before Yankton was even called Yankton, this area was surrounded with culture. Native Americans, Lewis and Clark, all found this place to be so miraculous because of the Missouri River, the fish, the way they could use it for travel, and because of that, I've come to the Mead Historical Museum to talk to Crystal to learn more about it.
The earliest occupation of the space is the Yankton Nation. The river provided everything that they needed, as well as transportation.
And this looks like a buffalo hide.
Native nations in this area, of course, use the bison. They would take the hide and they would wrap it around a wet tree willow so that they could make a bowl shape for a boat.
So the willow was still green.
Yeah.
And so it would kind of bend and do what you wanted.
Right. And then when you take wet hide from bison and you wrap it around and you set it out in the sun, it's going to shrink. Along the way, they figured out that if you leave the hair on the outside, it won't spin so much in the current.
Because of the current when you're going down the river.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Little drag system.
Right. Absolutely.
What was the relationship between the Native Americans here and Lewis and Clark?
Lewis and Clark wanted to know everything that they could about their culture, how they live, what resources they use, all the way down to their plants and medicinal purposes and animals, and to see what kind of people that they would encounter. Who was going to give them troubles? Lewis and Clark brought with them peace medals. I don't know if you can imagine, being handed a peace medal with somebody's face on it, and you're being told that this is now who owns the land that you have been living on and your family's been living on for a long time. So I think that really muddied the waters. As time goes on, we have the Treaty of 1858. And again, the river location, the levee, how easy it was to access the river played into why this site then became the capital of Dakota Territory. It was a great way for the river boats to come up from St. Louis with a lot of goods and distribute so that settlements can start and happen.
Sometimes when I think about these types of stories and the history of an area, and you come to a place like this where there was so much happening, and you think back to the 1700s and the 1800s and how everything built up around the river, and to think now that the river's being infiltrated and it's something that we should protect to at least keep the fish that were here.
It still definitely will have a huge impact if we can't get it under control. So.
I am captivated by the stories of the past that Crystal shared with me about how Native Americans and European settlers used the river so creatively for travel and sustenance. The reason the Asian carp are such a threat is because they're filter feeders, so they feed on microscopic organisms known as zooplankton. Now I'm headed to a local aquarium to get a look at the fish that are being negatively impacted by the Asian carp.
When Lewis and Clark first arrived on this river, they would have encountered these gar, they would have seen flathead catfish, blue catfish, channel catfish, of course the paddlefish, sturgeon. The problem with that is the Asian carp have already infiltrated those areas, and they're out competing this fish and all the other native fish for food. See, zooplankton, that's the fuel source for all baby fish. But at this point, as the Asian carp have moved in and they're taking away the fuel source for all these fish, The scientific community overall has determined that it's not likely we're ever going to get rid of these fish completely. But if we can stop them in their tracks, if we can do as much bow fishing as possible, if we can eat these fish, inspire the audience to do that, then maybe we'll be able to hold on to this fishery for the future.
The Greenway Outdoors is brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve, and by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Onyx Hunt, know where you stand with the #1 hunting app. Savage Arms, where better comes standard. Boss Shot Shells, premium grade and American made. Nosler Ammunition, a step above the rest. And by Carlson's Choke Tubes, the only choke tube we've ever used. I have gotten a brief overview of the history of Yankton, South Dakota, and the fish species in the Missouri River. Now I'm headed to Lewis and Clark Visitor Center to speak with Park Ranger Dugan Smith and Chief of Natural Resources Justin Scholl about the Native Americans currently using the river and how a dam may be stopping the spread of the Asian carp.
We do have 3 local tribes that are using resources and have been around here locally for several hundred years. The Yankton Sioux tribe, Santee Sioux tribe of Nebraska, and the Ponca tribe of Nebraska. Unique tribal people that have their own cultures, but their own stories that tie deeply to the Missouri River and what that means to them, because this was a place they lived. All their resources came from here.
The one thing I keep hearing you say, and everyone I've been talking to everyone say, is that the river is such a resource that it attracts people here. And because it attracts people here, it has us focus on the history that was here. And I feel like if we don't protect the river and we don't take care of it, there's a good chance we could lose that history too, which is such a big part of us.
I agree that everybody that comes here and visits us finds this a unique place.
Living here, being a part of it and seeing it every day, how nervous do you get from the Asian carp?
You hate to see it impacted, the fisheries and people, your kids, your grandkids who come out here and fish. You always want to see them be able to hunt and fish for the same species that have been here for hundreds and hundreds or thousands of years.
Right.
To have an invasive species like this come and impact that, you would hopefully that we can be able to someday understand and maybe able to change that process.
Have you tried eating them before?
Yep, I have ate them at events where they've actually bow fished them, and if you know how to fillet them right, they're pretty good eating.
Yeah. Now the dam there, explain to me what it does and why it's here.
The dam is actually authorized as part of the PIC-Sloan plan. Sloan program, which authorized this and a bunch of other dams up and down the Missouri River corridor. Back in the 50s, we had a bunch of flooding going on, and we also have authorized purposes of hydropower production, also drinking water, as well as fish and wildlife habitat. The Asian carp are really blocked by the dam, and that's benefit to us as far as a recreation standpoint, that we're not having, large fish jumping out of the water, contacting boaters and that kind of stuff.
So right now the dam is blocking the Asian carp from swimming up the river and getting into the lake. From what I'm hearing, they're not going to get rid of them. We're hoping to just stop the problem from growing anymore. Luckily, there's a blocker in, and we can just work backwards and hopefully knock out the fish a little bit.
Justin brought up an important point about Asian carp jumping out of the water and hitting boaters. Right now it's currently summer, but in the fall and winter months, giant schools of Asian carp will aggressively jump out of the water when aggravated by vibrations in the water caused by boat motors. Every year there are reports of people suffering injuries from this strange and dangerous behavior.
I feel like I have a little bit of a better understanding of the culture and the history of the area now, and honestly, it makes me feel a little bit more connected to all of it. At the same time, I'm a little bit relieved. That dam is blocking the Asian carp from going up any further, and as long as people are smart and they're not transporting any fish above the dam, we should be in good shape. But at the same time, I look at all those species that I got to see today, all those fish that are here, the native ones that are supposed to be here, and it scares me that this fish is coming in, they're eating all the zooplankton, and they're disrupting that delicate balance.
I'm going to do my part in stopping the Asian carp, and joining me on this bow fishing trip would be Aaron Reeby. He's a local fishing guide and college professor. He knows this stretch of the Missouri River like the back of his hand.
So you're like one of the groundbreaking guys here on this river to catch one.
Well, there's some guys that came before me, but I've been on this river doing this for 35 plus years.
The boat we are on is called the Tracker Grizzly Sportsman. It's made of aluminum and has a flat bottom, so it can handle shallow water, and it's tough enough to run into the occasional log or rock. The platform up front is elevated, and that gives the bow fisherman a bird's eye view into the water.
Oh, that was close.
I thought I got him.
We are floating down the river with the current, using the quiet electric motor up front just to steer left to right. These fish are often found in large schools facing upstream, and normally they'll be near the surface with their mouths open feeding on zooplankton as it floats down the river. So while you're drifting, you're constantly looking at the surface of the water in front of you for a school of white mouths feeding. Ideally, your boat will skirt just past them, giving you a close side profile shot.
You got one.
Yep.
Good shot.
Thank you. That was a long shot.
That was a long shot.
Finally, I got to lay my hands on a big head Asian carp, and this one is big enough that it will be easy to fillet. The bows we are shooting have a fishing reel with special line connected to the arrow. When you shoot a fish, the arrow will lodge in the fish, giving you the opportunity to reel it in using the line. The Greenway Outdoors is brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve, and by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Tracker Boats, fish the finest. And by Eagle Fishing, tactical fishing gear for the savvy angler. Rife International, fish for the future. On this episode, I've learned a lot about Asian carp in the Missouri River. Now I'm bow fishing for this non-native invasive fish.
Oh, you got one. Nice.
Big head?
That's a silver. Big heads is nice and smooth. Silvers have a little point right there.
No kidding.
That's
Okay.
about the only thing you can do to tell the difference.
Jeez, I thought you said be quiet.
Well, actually, sometimes if you can't really tell where they're at, you can stomp and then you listen. Sometimes they'll splash over here. Sometimes they'll splash way over there.
Oh, so then you know where to aim the boat.
Yep, and you know where to go. Actually, take the boat that way. That's where the school's at. And just like with these swallows showing us where the fish are at, if you stomp, it'll spook them. By the time you get there, they'll sometimes be back at the surface.
Okay.
So, works pretty good.
One of the things that I'm most excited about is actually trying these things. Because supposedly, they're not supposed to taste good. But yet people brought them in for food, so they gotta taste good.
Right.
You know? Have you had them?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, understanding how to clean them, that's the most important part.
Is there a trick?
Yeah, if you just hack them all apart and you're putting it all on the table, that slime will get on the actual fillet.
Oh, like the slime on the outside of it. Yeah, they make a pike look dry. I mean, they are slimy.
They're nasty, yeah, and so that smell and that taste will soak right into the meat. So you gotta fillet them, take that fillet and keep it clean in a nice cooler of water, and then get them back out after you clean the table and trim up all the bones out of there, and then you can cook them, fry them, bake them, grill them, anything you want. The meat stays together pretty well and it's super palatable.
So keep them out of the slime.
Keep them out of the slime. The slime is bad.
I for sure got one. I got two! I got two! I got two in one shot! That is something. They were just stacked in there.
Where they originated was in a pond, like a fish pond in Texas. And once the Mississippi River flooded, they got into the Mississippi and worked their way into the Missouri and every tributary from there to here. Now they're just everywhere.
They are made for survival.
They are.
One of the hardest parts of bow fishing is understanding where to aim. Thanks to the water, you have to deal with something called refraction, which means things in the water are not exactly where they appear to the naked eye. The fish will always be lower in the water column than it appears to be. So when aiming at the fish, you need to aim low. Something to keep in mind, the farther the fish is from the boat and the deeper it is in the water column, the more severe the refraction. So each time you pull back your bow, your mind does a little quick math problem, you make an educated guess, and fling the arrow.
Did I get him? Oh, I thought I did.
There's a gar hanging out there too. See it?
Yeah, I do.
Sometimes you get lucky and the fish are just sitting there on the surface. In that case, refraction isn't a factor.
Holy cow. That was like 12 yards.
One of my better shots.
That's a pretty normal size short-nosed gar.
Incredible teeth. Their skin is like armor. Like you can't, if you look, like I shot that with an arrow and it didn't go through and through. Like it only kind of poked through that second side just because they're just so well armor plated. We can eat this guy too.
Yeah. I had guys one day, I think they shot like 39 or 40. And they were kind of mentally keeping track of how many shots they took. And it was like 1 out of 10. They shot like 300 times between the two of them.
I'm running at about a 1 out of 5 average right now, I think.
That's pretty good.
1 out of 4 maybe.
Look right over there. See that? Right there. Yep, you got one.
Yep. He got off.
Did he?
Yeah. I feel like those super long shots, you get him, but oh no, he's back on. He got himself back on. I don't think that's how it works. This is a big fish.
Out of all the fishing I've done around the world, I have to admit, this one feels the most like hunting.
Pocket of them coming up here in that soft water.
I don't see him.
Okay, go ahead and get drawn because we'll sneak up on them and you don't want to spook them.
I still don't see him yet.
Okay, just wait a little bit, and when we get up perpendicular to him, you'll be able to see him because of the sun. Okay, ready?
Yep.
You see him now?
Yep. I'll wait. I got one. Oh, I got one.
Including that carp right there, Aaron and I had 27 in the boat for the day, but none of them were as big as the last one.
Keep go, still go. Oh, did you get one?
Yep.
You did.
Yep.
That was awesome.
Holy cow, though, I got a monster. Oh, this ain't no joke fish. The power of this thing. Holy cow. That was no joke. Wow. And he is 16 pounds. Imagine how much zooplankton that this thing has been eating and just taking all the nutrients out of the water, and he's eating the exact same thing a paddlefish is. Look down his gullet, he's just eating, filtering out the food, and just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but that's a monster. That is a big fish.
The Greenway Outdoors is brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve, and by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. LEM Game Processing Equipment, Wilderness Athlete, fuel for the rugged. Sea-Doo, live the Sea-Doo life. And by Rufus Teague. With one of the big heads, we're gonna make crispy barbecue carp.
With Asian carp, or any fish that people might consider sketchy, you kind of get one first chance at getting people to try it. So I'm gonna stick with the recipe I know, something I think people enjoy. All I've done here is just add a little bit of cornstarch, some pepper, and some Rufus Teague fish rub. Now, I'm coating all the fish evenly, but don't think of it as like deep frying with like a thick coating. Think of it as just a simple little covering. Should look about like that. That is perfect. Over medium-high heat, I'm just gonna add olive oil, just enough to coat the pan, not too deep. Let that get hot and shimmery. We're gonna throw in our onions, throw in our celery and peppers. Just cook these down for like 4 or 5 minutes. The onions will start to get pretty clear and everything will get pretty tender. All right, those are pretty cooked down. I'm trying to leave a lot of oil in the pan for cooking the fish, but obviously can't keep it all. I'm gonna add a little bit more oil. That'll get hot really quick. Basically, I wanna make sure there's oil on the bottom so they're all cooked pretty evenly and flip them. Most are pretty much the same thickness, but you gotta kind of watch it. You might have to flip the thin ones a little sooner. The overwhelming reason why people don't want to eat this fish is because they've got intermuscular bones, and those are kind of a pain in the butt. Now, I grew up eating northern pike, which it's always said that they have like a different set of rib cage, but you've always had to cut around that, and it makes it a little bit more difficult to get to the meat, but it can be worth it. Now, they eat plankton. Because they eat plankton, their meat is actually extremely mild, which is what people look for when they're making fish. And when something is mild, it kind of takes on the attributes of whatever you cook it in, which is why we're doing like, you know, the onions and the peppers and the spices and that sort of thing. Honestly, it makes it pretty good. It works out to be about 4 or 5 minutes on each side. Now, it is worth noting, Asian carp, because they don't eat the same things that like common carp do, they're not bottom feeders whatsoever, which means that they tend to be lower as far as contaminants go when you hear about PCBs and unhealthy fish. So as far as that goes, they're actually pretty healthy. In addition to that, the bighead and silver carp, which are the guys that we were shooting, they are 2 of the most commonly, and as far as like volume goes, produced fish for food in the entire world. It's just Americans that can't seem to kind of get over it. It's kind of like the first time you have rat. You know, you have to kind of work yourself up to it to actually try it, but once you do, no, it's not that bad whatsoever. All right, the final ingredients are a tablespoon of butter, a half tablespoon of cumin, half of a lemon, and then we'll do a tablespoon of honey. I'm gonna be honest, it smells pretty good. I would at least serve it to a mother-in-law. All jokes aside, this fish really just needs a better PR campaign behind it. It has to get people interested in it and give a fresh look to think about eating it. But any good PR campaign needs a good product. And that is irreplaceable. That is pretty good. Honest to God, if you went out, caught these, ate this, you'd be really happy. So just keep the slime off it, give it a try. This isn't going to completely stop the Asian carp. The silver carp, the bighead, they're all gonna keep moving northward. We need to eat as many of these as possible, get as many out of the waterway as possible. That way, we can get the infrastructure in place to protect the Great Lakes and other waters. But until then, this is a great way to slow them down.
On this episode, we harvested bighead and silver carp out of the Missouri River with bow and arrow. These fish are depleting the Missouri River of zooplankton, the food source for paddlefish, babyfish, and even baitfish, which support the entire ecosystem. Sure, this problem may have been caused by an accident, but it's man's accident, so it's our job, it's our duty to fix it. In the book of 2 Timothy, it says, "Do your best to win God's approval as a worker who doesn't need to be ashamed and speaks the truth." And in this case, the truth is, if we don't stop this fish, we could lose our native fish in the Missouri River. And with those fish gone, we'll be losing a large piece of our history too. We have to act before it's all gone.
When I was young, the water clean, life was like ripples on a flowing stream. Somewhere, darling, things went wrong. Now there's mud in the water and the magic's gone. There's mud in the water and the magic's gone. Mud in the water and the magic's gone.